Welcome back to Chicago Sports Update here on IEP Podcast. This is Matt,
And this is Brandon.
and I'd like to thank my lovely wife for stepping in during post WrestleMania for the show that you guys did last week. It was a good listen, at least from the conversation on one end.
How are our numbers?
Uh,
I'm guessing highest ever.
I actually had to check. I wouldn't be surprised, just considering the topic material. So, excuse me, still kind of fighting and getting over a spring cold here, but
It's not
well,
spring
I'm
anymore,
back.
though.
That's true. Back to winter. So I guess late winter cold here. So let's see. Since we last recorded, well, funny thing is, really, pretty much right after you guys finished, we got word that WWE legend Ultimate Warrior passed away very unexpectedly.
Yeah. Kind of crazy after the whole weekend of him being inducted in the Hall of Fame and then being at WrestleMania, because, of course, all the Hall of Fame inductees were there. And then he was the only one that they did something the next Monday on Raw. And
Yeah.
if you listen to his speech, it's kind of eerie now, isn't it? Talking about
Yeah.
breathing your last breath and things like that, and kind of eerie, almost like he knew.
Yeah, it was odd. A lot of reports circulating that it was heart failure and heart disease that was the cause of death to blame for his passing. But I saw some people were calling it a promo. I kind of just called it a speech because that's what it felt like. It felt like a very much an appreciation speech for those that had not seen his Hall of Fame speech, as a prelude to WrestleMania 30. And it was really nice. I thought it was a really nice tribute to the fans and saying, hey, you know what? I come in, I came in week in and week out or whatever, and, put my body through it, but you guys are the ones that kept me coming back. It's because of you why I did all this. And I thought that was really nice. I thought that was kind of just a really nice tribute that he gave to the wrestling fans. I'm kind of like, you know what? Well, yeah, he's kind of right because the fans do make or break how many guys' careers. I mean, how many guys can really thank their marketability, but also the fans accepting them for what they are or their character, and allowing them to have such a great career. I mean, especially right now with the storyline of Daniel Bryan and him going up against Triple H and fighting the Authority and and that sort of stuff. So it's kind of nice how it's all tied in, but also very melancholy and surreal.
Yeah, it also though he had such a controversial past that normally when they do one of those moments on the top of the stage or top of the ramp, I should say, after a death in the let's call it the wrestling family, there's usually a lot more tears falling. Uh, this one was like I think I saw a couple of the divas maybe with some tears, and then the most part I think guys were just like, yeah, it kind of sucks that he's gone, but okay, let's get on to the show. So I think you could kind of look at it either ways. I think a lot of it was appreciation for the character that was the Ultimate Warrior and not so much the man who was.
Yeah.
I mean, he changed his name to Warrior legally, which is weird in itself. But I liked how they on Raw how they showed a lot of the some of his biggest moments when he won the Intercontinental title, when he won the title at WrestleMania 6, things like that. So, all in all, the tribute to Ultimate Warrior on Raw was pretty done well, and it almost ties in from the previous week, which you're referring to, and just kind of like a whole 2 weeks of Ultimate Warrior, whatever.
Yeah.
Appreciation. I mean, I don't know what else you would call it. And that kicked off tonight or today, supposedly kicks off the Ultimate Warrior week on the WWE Network. So, if you have the WWE Network, as Matt does, you can, I guess, check out. They're gonna have tons of new programming and some older programming on based all around the Ultimate Warrior. So that's pretty cool, Matt. Since you have it, you're gonna have to watch it and let me know.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of from what I was able to catch on Raw last night was a lot of documentaries, some of his highlighting a lot of his matches. I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if there are some original programming, new original programming specifically for WWE Network on there this week. But it's kind of like it. I almost hate to say that it's very convenient for him to show off and highlight the network at this time because sure you have now you have a 3 day gap really excuse me until SmackDown on Friday night, so you have three primetime nights, dedicated viewing for those that are very much dedicated to WWE and the such. That it is appointment television for some individuals, and that's fine. But it can kind of show and highlight the power and the accessibility and the ease of the network. That's kind of what they show. I mean, it's not like a lot of. It's almost like a dedicated Netflix, like I guess that's the best way to put it, like a dedicated Netflix queue or section for the WWE Network. That's kind of what it is. You see a lot of their previous pay-per-views, a lot of documentaries that they've done across all their major characters and stuff. So countless hours of viewing. So my promo's over. You can hear all the other promos for it, during Raw and SmackDown and the such. But
Michael Cole will be sure to tell you how to log on.
And I don't know if they're doing a free trial now, if they're going to be starting that period again. But
yeah, I think I saw something again where
another you go
free
to the top
week.
Right corner.
So, yep.
Yeah. But I didn't really know, having always been on the outside looking in to the wrestling family and wrestling as a whole, I didn't really understand a lot of the, I guess, controversy surrounding him. I know that there was a lot of back and forth between him and Vince McMahon during their heyday and kind of the WCW and into WWE. Those sort of, I don't want to call it conflict, but that rivalry, I guess. And I guess some of his life outside of WWE and kind of being, I guess, overtly outspoken on partisan issues, I guess is the most gentle way to put it. And to see some people, I mean, it's been really funny on my Twitter timeline to see some individuals, have this sort of entertainment icon, take a moment and be like, wow, he passed away, a bit of his, plenty of individuals' childhood or, provider of entertainment for, those sort of formative years versus those that are, oh, hey, I can't separate what this guy does for a living versus his personal views or his political views. And that's almost kind of sad because I think they almost ask that of us, for listeners, viewers, whatever the case may be. So I was kind of, it wasn't, I guess I was a little put off by some individuals like that saying, oh, he's a bad dude. I'm kind of, well, you know what? What if just because you don't share what you do or just because you don't let other people know what you do and how you think or feel doesn't mean that, how many people's opinion will be changed of you. So that was kind of disappointing. But I was really surprised. The most surprising person that I think I found that is, doing some sort of tribute, excuse me, to Ultimate Warrior is Will Buxton on NBC Sports Network, who covers Formula One. And
what was that?
I was like,
what was he covering? What is that?
that rich open wheeled racing that the United States really doesn't have a part of.
Wait, isn't there like a Miami race in Miami or something?
That's Indy, but
yeah, whatever. Open wheels are open wheels, right?
Same difference. Yeah, same difference. But just seeing this guy, completely, not American, not covering a traditional American sport, and here's seeing him be affected by it, or recalling a memory, or memories of Ultimate Warrior, and showing that, I was kind of like, really, wow, this guy did have reach.
That's kind of, I didn't see that, but that is kind of cool.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. You can see his profile pic. So It's he has the Ultimate Warrior, I guess, mask on, and the Usos I saw pay tribute to him by each having a half of the mask on their
I kind of
face.
liked that. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I did too. But was it me? But are like Batista and Randy Orton? Do they seem really tame or just kind of, I don't know, cartoonish right now?
Um, as far as like, how do you mean?
I guess like they don't seem like these imposing, I don't know, these strong imposing threats that could, that are next in line to try to, number one contenders for the title belt.
Well, I think they're probably taking them. Well, I mean, it's weird because the title picture, you're probably gonna end up seeing another three-way match. Maybe even they do, Triple H really stacks it up against Daniel Bryan, and he does like a four-way match at the next pay-per-view for the title. Maybe that's the route they go, but they almost are since Daniel Bryan took a little break to, I believe, get married, right?
Yeah, I think he is getting married.
So they kind of focused the rivalry with turning to the Shield. So
Yeah,
that since Daniel Bryan's a little bit out of the picture, yeah, Randy Orton and Batista mentioned like getting another title shot, but they didn't really do much with it. So I
yeah,
think maybe once Daniel Bryan gets back, they try to figure out the number one contender for it. And like I said, you'll probably get some sort of rematch at the next pay per view with those three, or maybe even Triple H to add a fourth. I could see that happening too.
yeah. Now, right now, what I did see is that the Intercontinental Championship is going down to a bracket style. It's they're doing a bracket style competition for it. The first round was pretty. Gosh, I don't even know. So, I don't know. Predestined, I'd say, was the best way to put it.
It was, I guess, if you were making picks, you would go probably 4-0, maybe 3-1. I think the Sheamus match was a little bit harder to kind of figure out because neither one of those guys were have really been doing well as of late. But yeah,
Yeah.
the other three for sure were like, I mean, you knew if Cesaro lost, I think TVs would have been shut off immediately. Um, you
But
you
I
you
thought,
pretty much knew Barrett was gonna win. I mean,
yeah. Oh, especially after his appearance last
he's been
week.
getting a push and he deserves it. Uh, he's a hell of a talent, and they've misused him for quite some time. And I think they didn't realize how much the fans back him up until recently, um, with some of the more vocal crowds kind of being the voice for the majority of WWE fans. So uh, you knew he was gonna pretty much advance. RVD only because they didn't bring him back to lose in the first round of a tournament.
Yeah.
And then the other match, like I said, was Sheamus and uh, who did he wrestle in the first round? Um,
Gosh.
Struggling to remember. I tweeted it, didn't I? Or I tweeted what the matchups should have been.
Was it no, it wasn't because it was uh BNB versus shoot, gosh, Dolph Ziggler, right?
Yeah, it was Bear versus Ziggler.
Yeah.
Swagger. It was Jack Swagger.
Oh, that's
And
right.
I
Okay.
mean, Jack. So that one was a little tough for me. I could have seen Swagger possibly winning. I could have seen Sheamus possibly winning. So that one was a little tougher to predict. But the other
Yeah.
three were, I mean, pretty. They really haven't pushed Del Rio very hard lately. So you knew RVD was gonna win that one. So second round, to me, obviously Cesaro was gonna beat RVD. Well, maybe it's
Yeah.
not that obvious. To me, I think Cesaro's gonna beat RVD. And then I think they're going to do a little bit of an upset. I think they're going to have Sheamus defeat Barrett. That way you can have a face versus a heel in the finals. I think it should be Barrett versus Cesaro, but I don't see them doing that.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I think Sheamus is getting a lot of play lately and big push, but it is what it
And
is.
then I see Cesaro
Winning,
winning, yeah, winning it all.
yeah. Now, wasn't I thought the Intercontinental Champion was Ambrose?
No, he's the U.S. champion, which
Okay,
is basically equivalent to the IC title. It's basically the
okay.
same. It just came. It was basically WCW's version of the Intercontinental title. So when they were bought out, they brought over all the titles. They finally just merged the two major titles, and
Hmm.
so they still have the U.S. title. Though I mean, he hasn't worn the belt to the ring. He hasn't defended the title, so I don't even know if they've even considered him still holding the title, or if they just kind of made it defunct and we're supposed to forget about it. But maybe if I could probably find out if I go on to the app or WWE.com, they list the champion. So I guess I'll have to take a look and see if they even still consider him a champion.
Now, I didn't get to see the main event, but it was the Shield, and they were tagging it as the Shield versus question mark. It turned out to be a big field of, I think, the field of superstars. So, what ended up happening?
Um, Basically, the numbers got too much for the Shield. I mean, they started off doing well. It
Mm,
wasn't like it was all 11 in the ring at one time versus all three in the ring at one time. But eventually it got to the point where, every man's in the ring. Referee lost control.
mm.
And then the numbers game was just too much,
No, no, the referee couldn't lose control.
right?
No.
And then the three Evolution members, Triple H, Batista, and Randy Orton, come down and basically finish each member of the Shield off. Batista giving each one of them a Batista bomb. I forget. Uh, Orton gave a couple RKO's, and Triple H pedigreed one of them. I don't remember who. Uh, and then that's basically how it ended with the three members of Evolution, just kind of standing tall in the middle of the ring with the Shield at their feet. So,
Mm. There you go. All right, we'll see what happens to happen on SmackDown coming up on Friday, as well as on Raw next Monday. So there you go. There's some wrestling for you. Switching gears, we have the playoffs are set for the NHL. Excuse me, and the defending Stanley Cup Blackhawks get to face St. Louis in the first round, much to everybody's surprise, I guess we could say.
yeah, how bad did St. Louis fall? I mean, it was pretty much a lock that they were going to be the one seed, and you know, they were battling for the President's Trophy, and they ended the season on a six-game losing streak and went and lost the number one seed. So, uh, Hawks get them in the first round as a 2-3 matchup in the weird division seeding
Yeah.
inside of a conference playoff bracket. Um, they're hurt and they're not playing well. A lot of Hawks fans are happy that it is St. Louis that they're playing in the first round, especially since uh, Hawks have played really well against them this year, rather
Yeah.
than Colorado, who everyone thought up until last week that's who the Hawks would be facing, and the Hawks played very poorly. Well, maybe not played very poorly, but got very poor results playing the Avs this year. So lots of happy faces on Hawks fans that it's the Blues in the first round. It's to me their biggest rival right now, anyhow. So should be fun either way.
I agree. I'm very happy that it is the Blues, especially after the last two games coming off of the Olympic break and kind of starting the spiral down for the Blues. I'm very happy with that. I think they match up better against the Blues. I don't. I We said it on a recent show. I said Ryan Miller who, and that's kind of the attitude that the Blackhawks have taken. And my cousin, who's a better NHL fan than I, is saying that Ryan Miller has a psychological effect on teams, and That's one of his biggest strengths. I think that was also the case with Luongo for so long with the Blackhawks, and or just that sort of, oh hey, he's such a good goalie. Oh, we just have to respect him because he was in the Olympics. Well, it doesn't matter now because he wasn't in the Olympics this past time, and Buffalo was garbage. And I think when you play on garbage for so long, I mean, did you happen to see any of the Blues' final game against Detroit?
Did not.
Okay, there were a couple shots. One goal specifically that they highlighted. It was shot from maybe about 35 feet out or so. From the, I guess I would call it the point, but he didn't even see it. It just went right past him, and it was like, did he? He looked like, did he even shoot it yet? And I was like, oh boy, okay, this is what the Blackhawks get. Let's eat. And I'm not going to say that the Blackhawks are going to sweep. I'm not going to predict that, but excuse me, I believe I think it'll go 5. I really don't see it going more than that. I think it'll be a hard 5, but 5 nonetheless.
Well, let's hope it is. The thing with the Blues is they're going to come out hitting hard. They're a very aggressive style team. I know they've been playing well. Once you get to the playoffs, anything can happen. We've seen that a goalie who hasn't been very hot can get hot. I know Ryan Miller has played very poorly. St. Louis has played very poorly. Like when the Hawks were losing games, they were still out shooting their opponent. They were still skating around their opponent. They were not getting very lucky. They were hitting post, just not scoring, even though they were out shooting their opponents sometimes by very great margins. St. Louis has not been doing that in this 6-game losing streak. From what I hear, I don't have the stats in front of me, but from what I hear, they're just getting outplayed, outskated. Ryan Miller is struggling now, as the team in front of him is starting to not play so well. So everything looks to be in the Hawks' favor. However, like you said, you never know what could happen in the playoffs, especially the NHL playoffs. I just hope it does only go 5 because, even if the Hawks win the series, let's say in 7, they're going to be a very beat up team. We know that's going to happen. And you're not going to want to, let's assume Colorado advances in their first round matchup. That's going to be a real issue. Hawks have already struggled against the Avs, as I mentioned. Now you're going to be kind of hurt and playing that team. Good luck with that. So let's hope, like you said, that they can get out of that series quickly.
Yeah, I think they will. I certainly hope they do. The Avs take on the Wild, I believe. So the Ducks get Dallas, and San Jose and the Kings face off. So nice California series.
Yeah, that should be another good. Those are the 2 series I think everyone is going to want to watch: is Hawks and Blues and San Jose and LA.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So.
I think the Kings will come out of that one, but just because of their, I don't know, I would say their vaunted playoff experience. I think they live for the playoffs more than anything else, and San Jose has a tradition of, hey, it's playoff time. Okay, let's get in our hole, and that's it. So we will see what happens. Excuse me. Switching gears, going across the United Center to the Bulls. Well, seedings are just about set. They have the chance to be as high as the 3, but if they lose...
Which they don't want at this point.
Yeah, they don't want that. They could be the number 4 seed, and if the wind is right, they wouldn't have to face the Heat until the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, it's funny that you're actually rooting for the Bulls to now become the 4 seed and rather than the 3 seed, as the Heat kind of just said we don't care anymore and kind of gave up the number 1 seed to what is in the last month been a far inferior team. So as a Bulls fan, I would feel much more comfortable with a second round matchup in Indiana rather than a second round matchup in Miami. from what I
Yeah.
hear, Brooklyn is going to basically give up uh, and kind of shoot for the 5 seed, or shoot for the 6 seed rather, instead of trying to get the 5 seed. They swept Miami this year, and in their brilliance, think that means something, and they want Miami in the second round, as they feel like that is a better matchup for them. Oh, Brooklyn, Brooklyn, Brooklyn.
So
And they're actually, I'm looking
Brooklyn.
right now, and they're down 12, and they're at home against the Knicks, who suck. So yeah, they do look like they're throwing it. They have to be throwing it.
I guess the surprise would be if they were playing. That that's funny. Yeah, there's I Brooklyn, Brooklyn. I wow. Um, I didn't know that's what they thought, that they feel like they're a better matchup against the Heat. Okay, I'm guessing the try hard Bulls and the bench mob moved over east to Brooklyn and took their fans with them. So okay, all right, that's fine. Have them. But wow, okay, I'm glad that's okay. Enjoy that show. Enjoy that 4 game sweep.
Well, I don't know if the Heat would sweep them, but I mean, the Heat would definitely beat them in a series, just like any other team in the East.
Excuse me. Yeah, absolutely. Though I did hear some concern about Dwayne Wade not, just the wheels falling off. I should say the wheels, the legs falling off pretty soon. It may be wheels, but his legs falling off and not being able to do the basketball things that he needs to do to be a successful pillar to the big three.
Well, they can worry about that in the finals then,
Yeah,
when they
okay.
play one of like to me the West is like it could be
Oh,
Oklahoma City, it could be the Clippers, it could be San Antonio. Uh, Some say it could be Houston. I don't see that, but one of those 3 teams that I just mentioned could easily be in the Western Conference Finals. Easily.
I do not want Jeremy Lin in my NBA finals. I
Well,
do.
not only that, but the rest of his freaking team. Dwight Howard. I
No,
mean,
I
James
don't.
Harden. I have no problems with James Harden. The rest of the
Yeah,
team, well, except for Omer Sheik, obviously, but
yeah,
that's probably for different reasons.
yeah. I like Black Mike.
Black Mike.
Yeah. If you don't know, well, since you don't really know, James Harden's beard reminds me of Mike's beard. So
Mm. Okay,
that's why.
I
That's
gotcha.
why. Although, of course,
I
one
think
of the
I
Wyatts.
was gonna say I think
A
in a beard growing
beard.
contest, I think Mike destroys James
James Harden.
Harden.
Yeah, I think he's up there in the realm of what's his name? One of the Wyatts.
Um, is that Harper?
Yeah, I think it's. Is it Harper? Let me check. Either way, it's quite comical. So let's see the one. Yeah, the one without the sheep
Right.
mask.
I think that's Harper, but I could be wrong.
Okay, let's see if that is the case. Yes, that is.
Okay.
That would be the case. So sorry, Mike. Don't be offended.
Huh.
Just take a look. You'll see. So that really covers that. Do you want to move over to baseball?
Sure. You could take it over, I guess. I really haven't. I still haven't been able to watch much baseball. Uh,
That's okay.
I've watched a little bit more Sox than I have Cubs, just because whenever I've sat down to watch, they've been on and the Cubs haven't. So it's just I've been kind of too busy to start watching yet. So I mean, obviously I
Yeah,
know a little bit of what's going on, but
yeah. It's been a surprising run so far for the White Sox.
they're 1 game
They're
over
just
500. Let's
uh,
call it.
uh,
Just because
true,
just because
but
Detroit is off to a slow start.
but remember that's because at this point last year I think they won 2 games at this point. So
I think as like May 5th they won 2 games.
It's true. I remember I had a push bet with my dad, and the fact that they
Oh, you
whether
said
they whether they would get 10 wins in the month of April, and they did. So, or more than 10
I
wins.
remember
So,
that.
yeah, so they only had 10 wins coming out of April last year. Now they're what at
Six
I
and
think
five, right?
6. Yeah. So, happy about that. Today, as we're recording, is Jackie Robinson Day across baseball. So everyone is wearing 42. Not a single jersey number or umpire number is different from that, in honor of the man who broke the color barrier for baseball. So it's a nice day. It's a nice celebration. I know last year they had, I think it was Jackie Robinson's. Oh gosh, I think it was his wife. I think it was his wife or daughter was in the booth at US Cellular with Hawk and Stoney, and it was some good. Hawk got all Hawk like, and he went full Hawk and did his kind of Southern Rube stuff, but it was good. Some good history stories that he had there. Just about his time in baseball and around that period as well,
I'll tell you
growing up.
what.
I'll tell you what, yeah, he threw that out plenty of times. But yeah, it's a nice day. It's really nice to celebrate the diversity across baseball. Though the I guess the African American population is not there. There's a lot of stats out there stating that there are, I think, black players only make up less than 10% of major league players, and that I don't think is for lack of trying. I know that there are opportunities and there are programs out there for urban neighborhoods or inner city neighborhoods to have baseball programs. I know the White Sox do a lot of that. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cubs do have some, they have some leagues out there, or do some support or charity work with those leagues. But yeah, the options are certainly there. It's just a choice, and just to have that choice is such a good thing, because that's what he stood for, just having the ability or the option to do so. So it's a nice time, and if you get to catch a baseball game around this time, it's always good. You should hear some good stories, as well as I think there's a civil rights game that is played, I think, later in April. I think so, either that or it's in the early part of the season. But that's a nice little honor that they do to celebrate diversity in the game. So other than that, I know the Cubs they're in rebuild mode. I was surprised because I caught some of the Sunday night newscast, and Rafer Weigel of ABC 7 here in Chicago had some, I guess, surprising commentary regarding the Cubs, and he was editorializing a little bit more than I thought he should have as for a newscaster. Just saying that Edwin Jackson not living up to what he's supposed to do. It's almost like Rafer didn't get the message as what the job of of Edwin Jackson is, or what the game plan is around Wrigley, and what the Ricketts Theo plan is. So
I don't know. For
it's
the contract that Edwin Jackson got, I think he's kind of actually right about Edwin Jackson. He's.
sorry.
I actually think I kind of agree with him though on the Edwin Jackson thing. For the contract that he's getting, he's awful, bad.
Yeah, but I think they should. I almost feel like they should have known that going into it.
Well, I mean, is this his longest stint on one team in his career?
Yes, yeah, it will be.
Like a year, a season and a week.
It really is. It's not a question of his character in the clubhouse. I haven't heard anything to that detriment. It's more so his ability, and everyone thinks that there's some sort of excuse me, untapped potential that someone can finally get to. And if Don Cooper couldn't do it, nobody can do it.
He sucks. Not
What are you talking
Cooper.
about?
Not Cooper.
Yeah,
Cooper's
Chief. What are you
Cooper's
talking?
okay. If he can get some of those bums to be good
Oh
for
yeah,
a little bit, yeah.
oh yeah. So, but
Whoa, 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 whoa.
no, it's I don't know. I almost feel like people forget what the plan is for the Cubs, and I feel like the plan isn't to see the minor league guys right now. You gotta wait. You gotta wait till August to see them, or at best next year. So I should say at best August. Worst case
I mean,
scenario
they're not.
next year.
They're not. They could be worse. They've won some
Oh
ball
yeah,
games. Would they take 1 out of 3 against St. Louis? Is that right?
I think so.
Uh, and then before that, they like the game against Milwaukee to finish off that series. They were up 4-0. I was kind of bragging. I was at a family wedding, and most people are from Wisconsin, so I was kind of bragging, like, "Oh, Cubs are up 4-0." And then next thing I know, they're losing 5-4 in the ninth. So
I thought you were going to say they're losing 5-1. They managed to lose
they
runs.
they probably could. That's that's how often they've been scoring runs that they actually take them away. So, but no, like just they kind of seem like if they're hitting, they're also giving up a lot of hits or a lot of runs, and
Mhm.
if they're pitching, then they're also not scoring. So just they just can't seem to put it together to get like a nice little not win streak, but maybe win 4 out of 5 or something like that. It would be nice to just kind of have that so we could have fun for a week or so. It would be.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. I hear you. I don't. Again, I don't really have the greatest expectations for the White Sox. I think I told my cousin if they win 75 games, that's fine with me. But I don't expect them to be 500. I don't expect them to be 69 loss bad. But I expect them to be mediocre, and that kind of 75 to at best 500 exemplifies, I think, mediocre. So,
so like a Galvin Floyd year.
oh God,
Well, I mean,
yeah,
he's a 500. I know wins.
Javi Vasquez. I'm more like Javi Vasquez. Throws a lot, too many pitches, and yep, and all you have to show for it is 500. So, yeah, closer to it. So, let's see. You got anything else?
Just wanted to mention it's a little bit of baseball, a little bit of wrestling. I don't know if you saw this today. The Pittsburgh Pirates have adopted Daniel Bryan's "Yes" chant as their home run celebration.
No
Yeah,
way. Oh
I guess
wow.
there's videos of it. I haven't seen the videos yet. I just like read a small little clip about it. So it makes me want to watch Pittsburgh Pirate baseball.
Well, they're playing the Reds, so and they've been beating up on the Reds. I think everybody's actually been beating up on the Reds, so
That's a good thing.
that's fine by me. Yeah, that's good. I like seeing that. Except it's Dusty Bakerless, so it's kind of like, oh,
No,
it's very.
it's still the Reds. It's still there's only two teams that I don't mind in. Well, I mean, obviously I love the Cubs, but in their division, I don't mind the Pirates. I've always, as a kid, I liked the Pirates. The rest of the division, I never used to mind Milwaukee, and then the whole Braun thing. Now I hope they lose every game possible, and of
Yeah,
course I hate the Cardinals and the Reds. I think Dusty Baker might have just tainted it, and I don't know if they can ever recover from it. In my eyes.
yeah, I hear you. I hear you. So, oh gosh, I'm so glad Nick Swisher got out of town. I can't stand that guy. Oh, I can't, him and his brohio. Just go away, dude.
uh,
Go away. Go away, man. So, all right, you got anything else?
I think that's it.
All right. Any special mentions, thank yous, or shout outs?
Just to our guest host last week, the beautiful Megan. I hope you're listening, Megan. It was fun. I miss you. This guy on the air with me sucks. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll take it. That's all right. Yeah, I know. I'll pass it along.
At least I don't have her in the background, like, oh, it's this, it's this. No, I'm just kidding. We needed that.
It wasn't that
We were a
bad.
sinking ship.
No, not at all. Yeah, we. I wouldn't. I would like a studio audience. That would be kind of fun.
There you go.
Oh man, I can see it now. When Ryan hits his teenage years, he's like, "Shut up, Dad. You're an idiot. You know what you're talking about." I'll take it. So, yes, big thank you to Megan for sitting in and having some fun after post WrestleMania. It was a good show, at least on this side. I got to hear the other side in full conversation from last week's show. So looking forward to that. And hope everyone enjoyed this show. We'll have more. I'm kind of glad we're doing some of the wrestling stuff. It's kind of been nice to fill the void from NFL lists, NFL list times, and also these just awfully mediocre baseball times.
Well, yeah,
So-
in about a month, all we're gonna have is baseball, and if the Sox stay around 500, that's gonna be okay. Hopefully, they can stay close, as close to Detroit as possible. Make it maybe interesting for mid to late summer. Cubs obviously probably won't ever make a real run at this, so I mean, there's not gonna be a whole lot to talk about. So it's good that we're gonna have some other talking points.
yeah, some other sort of entertainment. So,
I mean,
excuse me.
we can only do so many episodes on which is better, F1 or NASCAR.
We haven't had that discussion yet. I don't think.
Not on the air, no.
No, not there. And I'm not going to win that argument. I know that.
Well, you probably would. Well,
Although,
no, I might win the
I'm not.
arguments, but you'd actually be right. Just I wouldn't let you think that.
I will say though, I was so impressed, and I will agree that it was such a NASCAR thing, and only NASCAR could pull this off. But Michael Waltrip doing pre-race stuff, starts running the race, comes in during a rain delay to continue doing commentary in his suit.
Daytona 500. That was
Yes.
he does every, even though he doesn't race all the time, he does do every pre-race, and he just kind of walks down the pit row while guys are lining up and outside their cars, and he's actually really funny. I've never really liked Michael Waltrip before until this year. It's very funny. He's kind of making fun of guys, and I don't know, it's pretty comical. So I do actually like I think the NASCAR pre-race is much more entertaining than the race itself. A lot of people go, what's so fun about car racing? They just go in circles for 4 hours. That's a good point. That's true. I can see why a lot of people wouldn't like it. Watch the pre-race. It can actually be entertaining as long as Michael Waltrip is kind of handling things. He's kind of funny. So
I think the best part about it is that there's no like warm up for him. It's just, okay, I'm not going to get in the zone, get my mind right as far as the race, and think about what I have to do and think about what my strategy is. Talk to my pit crew, talk to my crew chief. No, I'm just going to go from the Fox booth. I'm just going to change on my way down, hop in a car, drive some laps. No big deal. Try not.
Oh, they need me up in the booth during rain. I'll go back up there. Hey, everyone's seen.
Oh, I'm not going to win. Oh, I'm at the back of the field. Oh, my tire blew out. Oh no. All right, I'm done. All right, I'll be back at the booth, guys. Not even shower. It's so great. It really is. Oh man. That's something only NASCAR could get away with. Only NASCAR. So.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I mean, would you like to see in his heyday? I honestly wouldn't mind if Deion Sanders was playing now. He would do that.
Maybe. Well, I think Barkley would have been good at it.
Oh yeah, Barkley would be good. I don't like prime time, but
he'd been fined so often though. Come back. Yeah. These refs are terrible. I'm getting hacked out there.
True.
They need to feed me the ball more. Damn, Marley gotta stop just shooting.
Oh man, great stuff. So, all right, thank you very much, everybody, for listening, and hopefully the spring weather turns around here in Chicagoland, and have a nice, happy Easter for those Jewish listeners. Hope you had a nice Seder meal and Passover. So, hope you stay safe. Don't overindulge, as Ed Farmer likes to say. Yeah, the Ed Farmer Society for preventing Jewish drunk driving. So, again, hope everyone has a nice holiday weekend for those of you that do celebrate. And if not, just have a nice weekend. And, well, we will talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening to Chicago Sports Update here on Intrepid Audio Productions. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter by searching IAP Podcasts, all one word. We make it easy to listen to us at home or on the go because you can subscribe to us via iTunes or on your browser at Spreaker.com. Listen to us on the go with the Stitcher Radio app, available for all smartphones. Want to interact with the team directly? Leave any questions, comments, or feedback you may have at our Facebook page. You can also like our page to know about special events, shows topics, and listen directly on our page to new and past episodes. Feel free to email us anytime at iappodcast@gmail.com. IAP Podcasts, pioneering the best in independent podcasting.